Good morning, Dubai. Welcome to our Halloween special. Welcome to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all the trending stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. And very shortly, I'll get the reasons why we're wearing these. Today's top stories, we're talking about COVID rules ease again, new rules for throwing house parties at home, and everything going on the long weekend this weekend.
Yes, apart from that, we'll also be talking about you can apply for a UAE Golden Visa directly at Jitex.
Along with that, Daiso is smashing Halloween this year with 3,000 products, and this is why we are dressed up. We're talking all things Halloween with Daiso later in the show, but do stay tuned because we have none other than Idris B, the incredible artist. You've seen his sculptures around town, and we're going to get the lowdown on everything Idris B related later on in the show. But before we get to that...
Before we get into it, the sponsor of today's show is Daiso Japan, who are here just in time to sort you out with everything Halloween Daiso. And although Daiso Japan are the sponsor of today's episode, the opinion and thoughts are Lovin Dubai's. More on this later on the show.
So yes, Daiso have given us the opportunity to get prep for Halloween before Halloween, but we're not going to get to that just yet because basically Amy creeped us out with some photos yesterday. First of all, are you Halloween nuts? Are you going to be going crazy for Halloween because someone in America? Is it America?
Dallas, Texas, Casey.
Is this a scary voice, by the way?
I felt like it was. Now I don't know. You're making me question myself.
I don't know if it's a scary voice.
Did it not creep you out, me talking in a monotone? Just like all those creepy people do in creepy movies.
I like this better.
You like my face covered better?
I just think it gives you a cool aura. No! What's happening in America?
Okay, so what's happening? I'll give you the lowdown. So this guy in Dallas, Texas, what's happening is he somewhat rolled out his Halloween decorations weeks earlier. Halloween is on October 31st, right? And this is his decor, his front yard situation. There are body bags, there are mannequins splattered all across the yard with safes, like safes and just what do you call it? This chainsaws, all those hammers and stuff, and looks like a whole murder scene. So any neighbors and passerbys have gotten so creeped out by this entire situation that they called 911. So this guy has received...
It's America. Of course you're going to think it's a crime scene. No offense.
And yeah, the guy got like several visits from the cops, like coming and checking the situation out. But then the cops were just like, oh, interesting. So they ended up taking selfies.
Oh, okay. Well, because they know it's fake. Well, you know, you don't want to scare... There's Halloween decorations and then there's really scaring people. Can you tell it's... I get it's I don't know.
I mean, if you've really killed someone and you disguise it in that way, you can kind of get away with it, no?
I think if that type of thing showed up in Dubai, it would make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
But like, you know, in terms of like celebrating Halloween, people love it, right? So people just go scary and scary every year. And I saw Jason Derulo on TikTok. He had like you can see him like wiping blood off the front of his Lambo or something. It's this video this year. Anyway, let's talk all things Halloween later in the show. My mask fell off. But before we get into it, are you going to throw a Halloween party? Because COVID rules have eased again. New rules for throwing house parties in Dubai and weddings. So the UAE's National Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management Authority announced new guidelines for in-home gatherings. Now, the new protocol includes setting a capacity of 80% capacity of your home with a limit of no more than 60 people, and a maximum of 10 people will be allowed to sit around the same table. Individuals can attend as long as 14 days have passed since receiving their vaccinations and must also present a negative PCR test taken no more than 48 hours before the event. They said, we urge attendees to not shake hands and keep to a physical distance of 1.5 meters with a maximum of 10 persons seated on the table. They also said we urge attendees, maximum 10 people per table.
So this all came via the weekly COVID press briefing last night, where NCEMA stated, we assure the public that the country is continuing to monitor the pandemic with the aim of strengthening acquired immunity and ensuring the community's health and safety, and adherence to official protocols will help accelerate the process of recovery and return to normalcy.
So this is all the latest from the press briefing. I think most people, the big news there is, yes, you can now, because we've been getting a lot of questions on this, and I'm not sure what the previous rule was, but now it's finally kind of been made clear the number of people that you can have at a house party. So going up to 60 people in your house, if your house is big enough, because it still says you have to have, it's 80% of what your house can hold. So I don't think I can have 60 people in my house.
Really?
No, surprising. But that's kind of giving people, and like, you know, maximum 10 people at a table. You still should have a negative PCR test. Your vaccination should be up to date and more than 14 days ago. So now you know, it's very clear what the rules are in terms of gatherings, house parties and weddings.
At this point, it's just like, if you're not vaccinated, what is stopping you? Honestly, like more than 80% of the UAE's population has been vaccinated. And it's just like, you know, taking on the responsibility and just being a responsible citizen and member of the community. So really, what is stopping you from
making life easier?
Yeah, for yourself and for others, and just ensuring like that overall safety and herd immunity. But no, there are people who don't want to get vaccinated, anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, interesting about that conversation though, because internationally it was more of a conversation. I don't think I had that conversation here as much. And like in terms of, like you said, 86% of the eligible population are vaccinated. That's the entire population. Like that's, or is it adult population? It's massive, and we're on the way to like over 90%. So that's why we're able to get back to normal, but we can't be complacent. So therefore, yes, go out, yes, go to those house parties, feel comfortable in the fact that the majority of everyone there should be vaccinated, but also don't shake hands. Also, don't go in for the big bear hug, you know?
Yeah.
It's a bit of balance.
Take those precautions yourself, like social distancing, that's something you can do even if like vaccinated, non-vaccinated. But have you seen the new series of You that came out recently on Netflix?
I didn't realize, I saw it was trailered. This is the... This is Adam Penn, the kind of, it's about murders plus relationships.
Yes, the mystery drama show that's on Netflix right now. So there is this one episode where the child gets really sick, and it's because he's got something from someone else who wasn't vaccinated. So like a lot of just the whole conversation was around anti-vaxxers, and she ends up, spoilers?
No, you can't give spoilers. What episode are you on?
I finished it.
Oh yeah, you can't give spoilers for You. It's just out. You have to give us some time. We need at least 3 weeks.
She causes real damage to the person she found out who is not vaccinated. So I mean,
good storyline. Was that?
The point was, like, there are people out there who might seriously cause damage to you if you don't get vaccinated.
Apologies to everyone who's watching You.
No spoilers there, by the way. Just, I mean, like, we know it gets pretty gruesome, the show. Anyway, moving on to our next story. 1 day left, so you can apply for UAE Golden Visa directly at GITEX. Now, with mind-controlled cars, WhatsApp parking, 5G security upgrades, among other tech launches at GITEX Technology Week, has been the talk of the town since it kicked off on Sunday, October 17th, and will be going on until October 21st. That's tomorrow. Was just checking, yeah. The pioneering and futuristic technology being displayed at the week-long event is putting the UAE at the forefront of digital evolution once again. And apart from that, one exciting news that guests will be happy to know is that you can apply for UAE Golden Visa directly at the event that's all set to wrap up by tomorrow. Now head to the GDRFA stand at the exhibit in Dubai World Trade Center at the Sheikh Zayed Hall for a full explanation on the how, what, where, and the General Directorate of Residency and Foreigners Affairs, GDRFA authorities in Dubai will run you through the criteria for Golden Visa and how you can apply for the 5 to 10 year long residency visa, which is automatically renewed upon expiration.
So far, outstanding students, investors, entrepreneurs, talented individuals, researchers in science and knowledge, journalists as well, doctors, of course, writers, and those with promising abilities are eligible to apply for the long-term residency visa. So if you're in those categories, then you can apply. However, GDRFA is also running through other smart apps with attendees that include citizenship and passport services, and more of that.
Yes, and to find out more information, you can visit their official site, or you can call the American call center on 800-5111.
So this basically opens up more channels for people to apply for the long-term residency visa. We mentioned the categories there that are eligible to apply, so not everyone right this second, but it's continuously opening up. Of course, I think it was first like doctors were eligible, and I think hundreds, and then doctors were given the long-term residency visa, of course, after the incredible work that they've done for the country in the last year or two. Apply online, there's more information there, but also head directly to GITEX and get your application in.
Exactly, and they gave out so many golden visas just recently to outstanding students with a GPA level of higher than a certain point. So that's amazing. Just like the way the UAE celebrates talent, celebrates good work, hard work, community work. And I saw on that list it was mentioned journalists. So
I was gonna say.
Did it say video?
Do you have a cough, Ali? If you have a cough, you shouldn't be in the office. You should be at home.
The shade.
Look, this is the thing. Journalists were on the front line during COVID. Maybe this is why. But people can get their applications in to have a more steady visa that allows you like 5 or 10 years in the UAE would just, really make me feel even more at home. So hopefully, will I apply?
And just takes out the whole stress of renewing your visa, like 5 to 10 years. It's a good amount of time to get your stuff sorted.
True, although it must be said, massive shout out to Taz, who is our office manager, who is a godsend. We love her, she does everything, and she helps us through it all.
We love you, Taz!
Speaking of helping us through it all, let's help us through today, because it is a long weekend, it's here, and us Dubai peeps have so much going for us. Cooler weather, free parking till Saturday, and offers, deals, and all that jazz. So here are a few things you can look forward to this 3-day long weekend. And not only is it a 3-day long weekend, when you get back into the office, we have national holiday at the beginning of December. All of the good things are coming. Starting, of course, with Expo, 95 dirham for an adult ticket. Games, prizes, shows, light shows, etc. happening down there. I was down there last night. It's an absolute blast. It feels like a festival. It feels like a celebration on every corner. My battery was gone at the end of it because I was like, it's amazing.
You didn't go there with a power bank?
I went there with a charger. But then, because it was such a nice day, rather than doing what I usually do, because I was working there, rather than usually going to find somewhere to charge, I sat out in the grass, in the open grass, and did my work there.
Oh my God, really? I feel like it's such a nice spot for picnics and just chilling. You get the food from those stalls and you just sit by the grass and chill. 3 expo hacks, if you can tell our audience. Any 3 expo hacks?
3 expo hacks. They give you free water on the way in.
Do they?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay, wear walking shoes.
Wear walking shoes and get the expo app. It's very, very helpful.
Yes.
Check the maps as you go around to find out where you want to go. Sorry, there's more now. Plan ahead, because there's so much to see. And nearly when you go, it's overwhelming because there's so much you want to see. So I would figure out where you want to go. Other things coming up this weekend, the Grit and Tonic Triathlon at Mamsar. So join the Grit and Tonic Triathlon, formerly known as the Super Sports Triathlon at Mamsar Beach Park, for an action-packed morning. Swimming, cycling, great for all age groups. The course offers calm waters in Mamsar Beach Lagoon, closed roads at a designated running track that ensures a safe and fun race with music, lots of aid stations, and a real community feel makes this event special. 6:30 a.m. on Friday.
Oh my God, 6:30 a.m. Yes, and ticket prices start from 200 dirhams. There's also art at Times Square Center on Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. A maker's market where you can get a lot of just homemade stuff. And
fabulous 25% deal for families at La Pearl. The show that captures your hearts like no other is tempting families with a fab 25% when you book 4 tickets or more, and that's at La Pearl, Habtoor City. one of our favorites this weekend, Grape Skin, we see you. They're holding the Grape Fest, a fun, trendy neighborhood grape bar and kitchen. It's the social hangout that's nestled within the courtyard at Lovin Hotel and Suites City Walk, Dubai. It's an absolutely stunning courtyard. Love it so much. But this weekend, they're holding the Grape Fest, Friday, October the 22nd, and they have like blind tastings, and they have also like charcuteries and live music going on. Prices for 40 dirham per glass, free entry with no minimum spend.
But it's a great chill spot with your friends. Like if you're gonna go and make a weekend out of it, you go to Grapeskin. And then there's also Race ME, where they're throwing a one-of-a-kind race right before Halloween, and the race is on October 30th. Registration closes in 7 days, so be sure to get your tickets ASAP. And the total capacity holds 1,000 people, so make sure to get your hands on them before they run out. Tickets are priced at 125 dirhams, and the race starts at approximately 6:45 a.m. And yeah, there's a best costume prize as well.
And just in case you're unaware, in case you've been living under a rock, Ain Dubai is opening this weekend for the long weekend. There's going to be fireworks, drone shows. It's all happening down there at Ain Dubai. We can see it now. You've probably passed it recently and seen it light up, like it's going to look sensational. But this weekend, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, all the restaurants around there are going to be in celebratory mode. So if you want to get down to Blue Waters, JBR, get the best views. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially with the fireworks kicking off. It's going to be like, this is the world's tallest observation wheel. So they're going to go big for this opening. So if you're looking for something fun to do any of the nights this weekend, get down there.
Definitely. And even if you're not just like you're not interested in getting on Ain Dubai, just the stuff that's going to be happening at the bottom, the celebrations and the activities and the entertainment, it's going to be so good. Like definitely worthwhile visiting Blue Waters this weekend. But moving on,
speaking of activities and entertainment, how crazy are you for Halloween? Because I feel like every year it gets more and more and more extra, especially in Dubai. Also, am I creepy?
Casey, you're spooking me out.
Would you be my friend if I look like this?
Definitely.
You may or may not know that these Halloween products were seriously affordable.
Yes, so affordable, and all from Daiso Japan. Now, Daiso Japan is smashing Halloween this year with 3,000 products from 7.35 dirhams. If you've noticed a little change with today's set, well, it's all thanks to Daiso Japan, who have kindly hooked us up with all the Halloween gear to make this season just the right amount of spooky. They've also got the goods you need to make this Halloween, with prices starting from 7.35 dirhams and over 3,000 Halloween products available. There are over 45 Daiso Japan stores in the UAE, with everything ranging from pumpkin patches, treat buckets, wings, house decor and costumes, not only for the children, but for teens and adults too.
Something about wearing a costume makes you feel like you can just be someone else.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you can put on any persona. You can just become another person.
Scary. I will say, I went shopping for Halloween stuff and it's quite pricey. And I went to Daiso Japan and it's very affordable. So if you want to deck out your house like the one we were talking about, you don't want to spend too much money. But I love how people are going, I love when people go big for celebrations. I really do. I think it's fun.
And it
gives us something to look forward to.
It's incredible, the range of Halloween products they have. And really, like, it's whatever you want, from makeup to props to anything. It's all there in Daiso Japan, and it's also affordable. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because this is your scary voice.
Yeah, it is. What is your scary voice?
I don't know. What's yours?
Okay, I know you hail from Ireland. They celebrate Halloween quite a lot in the Ireland.
Who's scarier, me or Simran?
You just look so. Who is even voting for you? What are you seeing?
Ali?
No one's voting for
Judges
her.
vote. Who's scarier, Casey or Simran?
Me.
Casey
the voice. The voice, right? The voice. It's the voice. Neither of us? What the hell, Ali?
Not everyone in this country celebrated Halloween growing up. However, as across the UAE, we're different cultures, different nationalities, and the UAE celebrates celebrations. And what's happening, let's say, for example, in my community is going around on the Facebook groups, nothing official, basically saying if you want trick-or-treaters, which is the tradition of Halloween, coming to your door with this, the kids fill them up with lots of sweets, just put a Halloween decoration outside your door. So whether or not you've celebrated before, you're letting people know that I'm cool with Halloween and I want the kids to come to the door. Now, when they come to your door, they need to do a trick-or-treat. Oh, that's it.
Standard trick or treat.
So it's not, so basically like when I was younger, the really basic way to get treats, because you get a big bag of sweets, is you tell a poem or a rhyme. But we used to go and like play music or something. So I'd like play my tin whistle or trick or treat, have you anything nice to eat? If you don't, I don't care. I'll just pull down something.
Okay, I see where that's going. But yeah. In Dubai, once we went trick-or-treat, it's like I saw the evolution of Halloween in Dubai. Like from the time I was maybe 13 and started going Halloween to the time my sister started going like trick-or-treating. Like for me, when I went around my building, they're just like, what is this? What are you doing? Like we don't have candy. But then like it just, people became more aware of the festival in the UAE, and a lot of communities, they started hosting like big Halloween gather, like they would round up all the kids and they would all go in like big groups for trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
So that would be fun, and just like, and schools celebrate Halloween now.
Of course.
So yeah, it's just, it's like not, you know what, in America it's so taken to another level, like the topmost level for Halloween. But
so we're like here. I'm quite happy here.
Yeah.
Guys, unfortunately that's all we have time for, but please stay tuned, because right now we're going to be joined by an artist who's been making waves in the art community industry. You've seen his sculptures around Dubai. His name is Idris B. He's going to be joining us in the show right now. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. We're now joined by an artist who's been making waves in the art and community industry. You've 100% seen his sculptures either dotted around the UAE or in your favorite celebs' mansions. Welcome to the show, Idris B.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
We'll have some photos beside us on Facebook, but already people, of course, they know your sculptures. But before we get to all of that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm half French, half Tunisian, and well, I've been doing sculpting, let's say, in this way since 15 years almost now. My previous job was actually to do that for brands. So I used to do windows for Louis Vuitton and Dior and Moncler and all those guys. So that's how I came into this world. And a couple of years ago, I wanted to make my own style, let's say. That is the polygon ones that I love, and this is how it started.
But the journey for you to start sculpture, I believe, wasn't traditional in any sense of the word.
No. Well, so it's really started with that work. And then little by little, I had more and more requests of doing those sculptures. So this is how it became like really like a daily thing.
But so let's say, for example, you're working for all these big fashion brands, which must have been so cool. But did you do your first actual crystal sculpture from bed?
Yeah. Well, so actually, what happened is that I had a disease for almost a month, and I was stuck into bed, and this is how I had let's say the time to say like, okay, now it seems to be a right time for doing my own sculptures. And so I started to sculpt and to draw in the bed, and then it became live. And then, wow, the first person that saw it was my wife, and she saw it, she loved it. While usually she doesn't really care about it.
Really?
So I was like, wow, there is something here, you know. So she said like, yeah, you can just take it home and you know, and put it in the middle of the living room. And I was like, okay, so there is something good here. So then I showed it to a couple of my friends, and they loved it. And they were asking me like, which is this artist who is doing that? So it started like this, and then I did. So the first ones that I did was elephant, and then
the same style that we're seeing now. That started from a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I made the tiger, and then I made the gorilla, and then I made all those pieces.
And what was the process? Because I can imagine it must be daunting. Let's say, for example, you had I don't know if it was a full-time or freelance job, but I guess something steady going on. So what was the process to say, I'm going to do it myself, I'm going to get these sculptures made somewhere, and then like they're huge. We'll get to where they are around Dubai, but they're you won't miss them. They're massive. So what's the process?
So actually, for the, let's say for doing the design itself, at the beginning I was just doing drawing and then sculpting it with a block of clay. So that's the traditional way of doing it. And then technology came and 3D printing came.
Good timing.
So it changed a little bit since 2 years now.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is that I still do it as a sketch by hand, and then I have a guy that I work with since now 2 years that is doing the 3D modeling.
Cool.
And with this one, we print it in 3D. But it's always a little bit different between what you have in virtual, in computer, and in real. So then we print it in real. I see how it is. We change it a little bit, and then I open the mold based on that. And then I do a fiberglass and resin. I spent it more than 2 years to build my own workshop back in Tunisia.
Oh, Tunisia. Okay.
So I'm French Tunisian, so that's why I made it in Tunisia. And now I have 10 people working on my team doing those pieces for me, at least after the first one. The first one I always do it, and then the rest of them, they are the one making it.
I can't remember when you first came into my consciousness or the public consciousness, but I'll start with the big one, which was I was sitting here and I looked outside genuinely, and there was a helicopter dropping into Marina with a gorilla hanging down. I didn't know if it was real or fake. I really didn't. And we were filming it, and then everyone in Marina was filming it. And what was that? What was the process of getting that to happen?
So that was for one of my clients, that is Wayne by Somia. So at that time they just took over the beach pool, the pool club at the address at Dubai Marina, and they wanted to have this large sculpture. So I said, yes, it's easy for me to do that sculpture, but you need to bring it up to there. So it's, I think it's 16th floor or something like this.
16th floor. And how big is the?
And it's 6 meters. It's 6 meters. So 6 meters by 3 meters high. So I was like, okay, so let's try to see something. So we tried with a crane, and we looked at it, but there was a lot of stairs and a lot of complication. And then I don't know why, like, so I'm living in the Palm, and we always have those helicopters going up and down. And I was like, well, actually, a helicopter could be, cheap, And so I gave them the idea. I was like, I think you guys should check about a helicopter. So I thought, they will just bring it from Jebel Ali and, like, kind of hide it, not passing.
Hide the gorilla.
Yeah, not passing right in the middle of the Sheikh Zayed Road. So, and that's it. I mean, I just told them this, and finally they arranged everything. And then the next morning I wake up, I'm like, what is happening,
Really?
And actually it was a gorilla and the tiger flying all over the city. So that was the funny part. But it was easier, and it was also cheaper to do it with helicopters and with a crane. So
and marketing,
and
by
marketing,
the way, was
yeah,
on point.
yeah, exactly. Like during 2 days, everybody was wondering like who did that, why did that, where is going. So
and your pieces are, let's say, for example, in the Point. I would see them there. They've been in downtown DIFC. At what point did people start to recognize your sculptures as yours?
Well, when they started to see them a little bit around everywhere, then they started to tag me. They started to recognize my work. So the first expo that I did was in DIFC, and then right after there was the Point, as you mentioned, and then Zayanura in Abu Dhabi. So like I would say a lot of people are working at DIFC. They have been at least once a year to Zayanura. So then they're like, oh,
it's a very fancy island. If
yeah.
you don't know.
It's so people started to be like, oh, I've seen this before, and then little by little like this, like people started to recognize me. As
an artist, how did you decide to keep? By the way, I love your stuff. I just think they're super cool, and like I rarely see something I'm like, that's so cool. Let me find out the name and remember it. But I really love your stuff. But how did you decide to keep something signature and to not like? Are you doing more outside of your sculptures, or how were you like? This is my trademark. I'm going to stay here. So
I really love polygons. So what I try to be is doing now other things that are a little bit different than just animal sculptures. Which, for example, well, you guys been there before, Burak.
Of course, yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. So I designed cutlery. I designed a bottle of water also that is going to come out soon. So I'm trying to keep having my style, which is a polygon style, but applied to different level and different kind of work that is usually not done. Like not just I mean, doing sculptures is nice, but for me it's like right now it's basic. It's already done anymore. So I want to do something different.
Well, interesting, because my next question was going to be, because you're so popular and because it's so recognizable, do you ever, I guess, say no to different projects because they might be too close to each other or because they might be too similar in the same area? Yeah, so, well, I always try to bring new. So it's indeed like sometimes I have to refuse like some project because I'm already working on one that is a really similar one. So I always try to bring something that is different than what I did the time before. And because I think it's really important to have a unique aspect of the project, no matter what kind of collaboration on commission jobs I'm doing, it has to be unique. So yeah, well, so for example, I'll give you an example. So I've been working with Chef Nusret for casual
for a salt shaker. Actually, and then Burak came and told me, okay, I want to have something with you. So I had to find something, different than making a salt shaker or making just a statue. And this is how I came with the idea, was having a giant piece of him, because he always do giant dishes. So it did make sense.
And this is the Cesar Burak statue, which is down in the Dubai Mall.
Yes.
And you're working with Nusret as well.
Yes.
Does it stop? Unfortunately, we don't have a massive amount of time, but looking forward, and there was also, you had an Instagram post that you're in the desert and you're like, something is coming. Was that the statue? What can people look forward to? Well, yesterday I was with Jumeirah, and that's going to be my next project that is going to come. It's about turtles. It's really special for me. So yesterday there was a release with the turtles with Sheikh Fahim Qasimi from Sharjah. Of course. And in 2 weeks we are going to have a big launch for an event that I'm doing with Jumeirah, which is going to stand at least for 6 months. And it's going to be only about turtles and total protection and rehabilitation and things like this. So those kind of projects is going to be that's so, like, the
nice.
Work they're doing with turtle rehabilitation is so exciting, and I literally can imagine something that you might be doing. That's so exciting. We cannot wait to see it.
No, it's really it's going to be really nice.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank
we
you
really love you, and your art is incredible. It's so much fun.
Thanks.
And it's so recognizable. It's really great.
Thank you very much.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. If you want to see why there's Halloween costumes on the table right now, just rewatch the show. Bye-bye.
Bye. you.